Hi, welcome back. Today I'm doing a review on the Birthmarked Trilogy by Caragh M. Brien. It's a trilogy, but there's only two books out so far, Birthmarked and Prize. And the third book is out next fall 2012, whatever kind of fall is. So firstly, on the name Caragh M. O'Brien, she says on our website Caragh is Gaelic, and there's no such thing as Gaelic, you say Irish. So apparently it's an Irish name. If she spelled it C-A-R-A, it would mean friend in Irish. But they added a GH to make it look Irishy. Anyway, Birthmarked, it's a dystopian series, and I don't know what it is, but most dystopian books I read I always really enjoy. And I really enjoy this series. Like the two books are so different. It could be from completely different series. But I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's like the author has so much imagination. She created like these two different like societies and two different worlds in the same series. And maybe in the third book they'll match up. But yeah, it was just so fascinating, I felt. And the only constants really in the two books is Gaia herself, the main character, and pregnancy. So the whole theme of pregnancy is a constant as well, because this book is about Gaia, and she's 16 years old and she's a midwife. Well, she trained to be a midwife for ages because her mother is a midwife, and at the beginning of the book it's her first time delivering a baby by herself and she's all proud. And in this kind of world there's inside the wall and there's outside the wall. Everyone outside this wall are poor, and all they do is they kind of dream of giving their children a better life, which is inside this wall. So it's like a little community inside this wall, which is a lot more privileges, and just a lot more money, and kind of they have like all the technology and electricity. So the first 3 babies born every month are given inside the wall and given to parents in there. And some parents think, oh, this is great, my child is going to have a great upbringing. And of course then there's going to be the few who like don't want to give up the child, but they just have to. And Gaia then herself, she has a big scar down the side of her face, like a burn scar. So she's seen kind of like as the freak or something like that in her town. But she's just a compelling character, Gaia. I think she's so moral and courageous, and like she just so strongly believes in what is right. I mean, to her downfall, she would just do what is right. And yeah, she's just a likeable character that way. The books, the characters are really like complex, and they're not just simple, straightforward characters. People die in these books, obviously, and they're just so sad. Even characters you don't really meet, and you find out they die, and it's still the author gets you, like, it's really sad. But anyway, so Gaia, in this book, in the first book, her parents get arrested and are brought inside the wall, and she's trying to find a way of getting in there, and she discovers some harsh truths about her whole society, and she meets kind of people along the way who she thought were enemies weren't really enemies. And in the second book it's completely different. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But yeah, I'm really excited for the third one now, because I was really I found this series really enjoyable, and I do think the second book was better than the first book. I don't know why, it was just that bit more fascinating and compelling for me. But it's a good pace. Like, it doesn't drag, and it's never like boring. There's never boring parts. And even if there isn't like constant like action and life and death scenes, like the little interactions between characters themselves can be just as exciting. And yeah, I was just like in love with these two books by the end of reading the second one. So the third one now, I say, will be really good. And it's a year-long wait, but hopefully it'll be worth the wait. So I definitely recommend this series. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the series in detail, and if you don't want to know any spoilers or details, I suggest you switch off now. Okay, so Gaia is so brave and courageous. Like, she went inside the wall to get her parents back, and then she saw, which was so awful, you know, they were hanging that husband and wife, and the wife was like 9 months pregnant, and they hanged them both just for getting married. And she goes forward and tries to save the baby, just like crazy heroic of her, and then she's put in jail, and her hair, I know I always get really bad when characters' long beautiful hair is chopped up ugly, like horribly, you know, not even nice cut. But yeah, she's put in prison, and she's put through this kind of awful time for weeks and months, and then both her parents die. Okay, I think her father's death, we never actually meet this character in the book, but I was devastated by his death after, you know, that flashback she had about when her father took her out, I think it's blackberry picking. He just seemed like the nicest, sweetest, greatest father, and I was just so sad that he died. It was awful, and just to think he was shot, like trying to get to the mother, and oh, it was really sad. And then her mother had to die as well, giving birth. That was a big shock, that she was pregnant, and she had her little baby sister Maya, and so yeah, Gaia was put through a lot. Leon, obviously I like the kind of like, oh, the guard switches sides and starts to fall for the prisoner, but I wasn't sure how to think of his character in the first one. Like, obviously you wanted to find out who his parents were, and for a second I was like, oh my god, is this going to be your brother? But no, it wasn't. Yeah, so I mean, my feelings towards them as a like a twosome and him, they weren't like, oh, I love him by the first book, because they were kind of hard to get, I think, because you weren't sure whether he really cared about her, or he just felt some kind of guilt or responsibility towards her. I wasn't sure about their feelings. But by the second book, they, you know, because they go through so much heartache and, you know, trials and tribulations and everything like that, and they deserved to get happiness by the end of the second book. They went through the rough patch, and they, you know, they earned it, and they earned my kind of love for them as characters. So I really, really enjoyed Leon and Gaia in the second book. Leon, obviously he's toughened out a bit. I didn't like when he was so kind of horrible to her at the beginning, when they first met, but yeah, by the end of the second book I just loved them, and loved him even more too, and the author just really built up their characters and developed them well. And yeah, I was just, the one thing that frustrated me by the second book was Gaia's indecision at the end about whether they should be a couple. It's like, yeah, you should be a couple, just like go with it. But she's like, I still need time. Hoping the third one she'll, you know, get her time and she'll be grand and they'll get together. Lovely. But obviously the third book is going to be all different amounts of exciting, and I wonder if the old town and the new town kind of beat. I figured she might meet her brother in when she went inside the wall. And it was like, it's either going to go two ways. She'll meet someone who's like really, really nice to her, and she'll find out that was her brother, or she'll meet someone who's like evil and horrible towards her, and she'll find out that was her brother. And I'm kind of glad that they went with the former. So she found her brother, which is really sweet. And yeah, he's kind of like a loose end from the start. He got away at the end of the first one. I thought she'd meet up with him in what's the name of the town again? Salem, I think. I thought he was going to be in the prison, and it turned out to be Leon, and I was like, oh, I was really surprised by that. But yeah, he'll probably pop up in the third one. I loved the whole kind of like she had her like love dilemma with like Will and Peter, which is kind of sad. Then she had her whole job dilemma, like should she allow girls to get abortions, and then she had her whole moral dilemma, like should she give in to the matriarch, and like, yeah, it was just, you know, a big ball of like fascinating characterization, really. Yeah, so I just love this series. It was just not your straightforward, you understand all the themes and the characters from the beginning. It built, it developed, it got even better, and I'm just really pleased with it. So I hope you check it out and let me know what you think of it, and thank you very much for watching.